Yeah, honestly, like watching the game, I was like, phew. Pheww, speaking of Pheww makes history as the first player to reach 3,000 assists in MPL Philippines. What the hell? I'm gonna list all the teams that I feel is gonna make an impact internationally. All right, so let's start things off.
Right.
Monster Vicious, MV.
Okay.
That's it, man. That's it.
Not even SRG? No, nothing.
It's different. Like this time, Philippines won, right? So
Yeah.
that's
The first time ever Philippines has won an international tournament, you know? Like,
It's
not like they dominated
but the
through it
trophy
again.
stays in Indo, though.
the trophy does stay in Indo.
Yeah.
But I mean some of the fans will say it's an Indonesian trophy, but
Yeah.
It's so different. Like I feel like they've been saying it themselves that they find it harder and then more competitive when they play back in MPL Philippines as compared to when they were playing in Mobile Masters. That's something they said, not me. I'm just trying to echo what they said. But I'm assuming Laphel just went to get something, right? He just went to get
No, I
something.
didn't.
no.
Wait, why can you still hear me?
No. He has speakers.
I'm not hearing you.
Says, please accept DJY, Brigida. Brigida, you have notoriously rejected DJY in
Hey,
ridiculous ways.
Keep doing it.
You said you already got Boba once, and then I don't even want to, but please accept DJY, Brig.
what is the definition of accept in this comment?
The
Because,
I
like,
told, oh man, I told DJY the
like-
worst she could say is no. She's saying, what is accept? Oh,
What is
DJY?
No, wait,
pro.
no, wait.
Define
Hear me out.
accepting.
Hear me out. Hear me out.
Yo, what's up, everybody watching from all around the world? Welcome to the first ever podcast that we're going to be starting again. It's not the MLBB analyst desk because it's time right now to gank and gather. It's me, Mirko. I'm here with the boys. And yes, you heard that right, boys. I got Brigida and Laphel with me. How y'all doing, man? Welcome to the first episode of Gank and Gather.
Let me just say it's been a week since someone called me a boy. Pause. Not like that, okay? Let's not make it weird. But, okay, Brigida, your turn.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see what we are about to talk
I'm
about
not.
tonight because
I'm not.
I am
I
because
hate
I
it.
feel like they have a lot of surprise things to show us later, and I'm not sure how I'm gonna react to those because I think I saw a bit of it earlier, but I'm gonna pretend like I did it. So let's just get into it.
I had a rough
Quality
week.
acting. It's
Yeah.
okay. We've gone through, like, I think, well, for Laphel, it's the opening week. For you, it was Holy Week, Brigida, so it was a slow week. It was more of like vacation for you. But man, were things chaotic in MPL Indo. And I think, we should start in MPL Indo. I don't think we should start in MPL Malaysia. For some reason,
no,
Laphel
no.
isn't too happy.
Nope.
We're going to save that for later in case you guys want to know why Laphel's so stressed. Then you got to keep tuning in right now. Stay tuned. Stay tuned for that. So, MPL Indo has been kind of chaotic. Firstly, I guess we can talk about the winless record that is yet to be broken because we saw our Q streak get broken. So the win streak is gone, but the lose streak continues for Navi. And as a European org, as a new organization in MPL Indonesia, it's not really looking too good. Now, before I give my takes, I want to know what you guys think. Like, outside perspective, outside of MPL Indo, what do you think about Navi?
Yeah.
I guess
You know
for me,
what?
it's like the general new team, new roster, finding their groove type of thing for Navi. It's just, I don't know, like for me, it's just mostly like that because I wasn't able to like see them really being able to show off like the same level of play just yet. I'm hoping they get there soon though, but I feel like there's a lot to work on for Navi.
Here's the thing, Brigida. You don't need to give them positivity because
I
this
agree.
is a cutthroat industry, right? Like
This is a
Navi.
business.
Here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. When we talk about jokes,
great.
not all of it are tens. Sometimes you gotta be zero. But if you're zero all the time, you're
I knew I was
You're-
gonna.
you're gonna be a
encounter
virgin
this.
for a while, all right? So every once in a while, you gotta give a 10. You gotta give a 10, Navi. You gotta try hard. You gotta make your family proud, your friends proud. You want your neighbors to talk about you, So Try
I
harder,
gotta.
you know? Try harder.
What was that? Is that your AC remote? Is it too hot? Is it getting too spicy already?
We're not even in Malaysia yet.
That's true.
like, Mirko, Brigida's too nice. She's being too
That's what I'm trying
positive.
to work on. What if I'm
It's
really
okay.
nice?
We'll get the character development. It's okay. We have me and you, Laphel. We're already kind of mean, you know. We're the mean dudes. So to have the contrast, we have Brigida here. So all right. I mean, getting those reactions is pretty cool for me as an Indonesian, right? Because I've been seeing what you guys haven't, or maybe you guys have been keeping up with the games, but I'm hella more toxic. I'm like way more toxic than you guys. I just feel like Navi. I already said this, I think week 2, but their season was over at week 2. Just because of how bad they are playing MLBB. And it really comes down to them having, first, I got to go back. I'm trying to find where to start really with Navi, because it's a big topic to talk about. Like when we're talking about how bad their run has been, 0-7, you don't just achieve that, you know? It's very difficult. Only one coach has done that in the past. A good friend of mine, Mr. Kaisam Yeev. He's done it, 0-14. Sorry, Wolf. I just had to throw you under the bus. We were supposed to get him as like a guest for first episode, I remember, but hey, throw some shade over to Wolf. Anyways, 0-7 is not really an easy thing to achieve. I think especially in this season where it's so close in MPL ID, they have fumbled so hard. And it really starts with the roster. It's an MPL roster that feels like an MDL roster. I'll be honest with you. RBL, when they disbanded and Navi came in, the roster reveal video was the end of the circus. But if I'm being honest with you, it really feels like it's the start of the circus. The roster is so bad. It's Cars and, again, other people. It's Cars and friends. And then we have Aldo, who I really respect. I think he has been able to give, I think, like glimpses of brilliance here and there in the draft. Players hasn't really been able to execute the game plan. Cars feels like the only guy trying to keep this team intact. With Shive, sorry. I'm going to give a shout out to Shive as well, because that guy's really good. But now, after the 3-week break, it's even more disappointing, because I thought with all the criticism sent their way, all the roster changes that we were, given out just as analysts, that they would change a lot of things. And we heard that they were going to change a lot of things. Turns out they didn't. They did make a crazy change, but it's for the worse, I would say. It's not for the better. They moved their best player, Cars in the XP lane, to a new role, making him an average player. And they got their MDL XP to fill in the role of Cars. That really didn't show. I don't see what they were trying to do with that change. And I'm still very disappointed in Navi. I wished that they would do something big this 3-week break, in the 3-week break.
Honestly, when it comes to Navi, Mirko, I really have 2 things to talk about. Like, first, let's make it into positive, right? Okay. Maybe it's just the environment. Right? Maybe the environment is not right. If they come to Malaysia, they might look great. So that's number 1. Right? I'm just putting it out there. Number 2, I feel like every league, we need a team like this, Mirko. Right? Because we always have that average looking friend. But when they want to take a picture for Instagram, they want to look great, they need someone ugly. Right? Like next to them. Yeah. Or just in front of them.
You look better if your environment isn't as good. I get you. I see the vision.
Exactly. So, I feel like it's inevitable. Every tournament needs one. Some tournaments have 5. It really depends.
For no reason, shout out to Wolf.
But like being the nice guy, though, I do hope like they don't get as pressured, because like I feel like they're going through so much, and as mentioned, like constantly changing things isn't really gonna work, I feel, especially if they're just trying to figure things out. So yeah, they keep adjusting, they keep adapting if that's the case. And I don't know, as a nice guy, I don't think it's gonna work just yet. So I'm hopeful for Navi.
I wonder how much me and Mirko is going to get cut, and then they'll just replace us with, Brigida's answer. So how about we move on to a more exciting topic, Mirko? Best team in the world, Bigatron? What happened?
Bigatron.
How did they beat RK Hoshi 2-0?
As much as I want to give credit, I mean, as much as I want to be the nice guy, we're just better. We're just better at video. No, okay. Hey, as the number 1 Bigatron copium big fanboy, man, I am super proud of the team. But I didn't expect this result. If I'm being honest with you, with all the changes that they made, I agree with what Brig said. Trusting the process is very, very important, and I think that has been showing itself really. Like it's been great. Teams who've been able to trust the process have been getting so much value out of it. TLID is a good example. RRQ Hoshi as well with Keskut, and this roster they decided to not change at all for the season, only getting Toy in the lineup. So to see BTR make some pretty drastic changes in week 4 after the 3-week break, new coaching staff coming in, Finn replacing Light, I was doubtful. I didn't expect them to win against RRQ. I didn't expect them to win against TLID, but that was more because I feel like TLID is shaky. So I don't know where to start here too, Laphel, because I think it came down to a lot of things. Number 1, the drafts, but number 2, okay, we can start with the hair. The hair is a good sign because for the longest time, BTR, their problem, even in Mobile Masters, we touched on this when we were on the same desk panel, that they just look out of sync. Yeah, they on the same floor too. They were out of sync. They don't have the same vision when it comes to like going in. Luke and Light are always disconnected. They go for individual plays, all 5 of them, and it feels like they just don't know who to follow. Now with, I guess, the red hair, we can put that in. That's what we call an Indonesian theory. We try to put in patterns together and make it make sense. With the red hair, they bonded together, and now they see the game eye to eye. They are able to make, well, one of them is able to make a call, and all the others follow. We did get to see a mistake from that, though, right? Against Liquid, they followed in one call, and they all ended up getting wiped out, but after that, they really improved. And I think that is a problem that you want to have. As long as you have one shot call that the team follows, you can fix the shot call. But when everybody's making their own decisions, that's when it becomes a problem. And against RRQ, it really just feels like they finally are seeing eye to eye. But the drafts, for me, are also crucial to how they were able to get the dub here. BTR, in game number 1, I think this is also kind of like the blueprint that Onyx PH set. I'll be honest with you. Onyx Philippines kind of exposed the weakness points of RRQ that we already kind of spoke about in the Grand Finals of Mobile Masters. It's Edok and Dyron being the main playmakers. When Edok gets a pick like Tigreal, when he's on these playmaking picks, when Dyron is on these playmaking picks, it's just so hard to deal with them around neutral objectives, around team fights. But when you take it away, even their assassin player, Hazel, won't be able to perform on the highest level. Like on the Fanny, he got his comfort pick, he got the good picks. We didn't get to see Hazel that much. So shut down Edok, Dyron, go for like random brawls and chaos. And for the longest time, that has been Keskut's weakness.
Yeah, I agree. It's like they've been able to split up RRQ so well. It actually came to a point where even back in Mobile Masters, I'd agree. It's sad that I'm saying this, but like I was questioning how Light was actually performing alongside BTR because like it's not him, but them as a whole. See, I'm still trying to be nice.
Maybe it is him. Who knows?
Okay, fine. But yeah. Anyway, so it came to a point where I was asking, is there some sort of language barrier still? I think I even asked Eterna or something, like if that even exists within the team because it doesn't feel like they're really in sync. But she told me there wasn't. So it probably really was an in-game thing that I feel here.
I feel like your first mistake was asking Eterna.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because girls
That's her
aren't
idol,
really
man.
known to be honest, you know.
But she said there wasn't a language bar. Like she interviewed.
Again, girls
Light.
aren't known to be honest.
But
you know? So
either
maybe
way,
ask
I think
honest.
no comment. Why are girls being targeted here? But BTR, I think they did the right decision here. It's not like it's. I think they figured out what they needed to fix. So like trusting the process is an entirely different thing when you already know what needs to be changed and whatnot.
Yeah, honestly, like watching the game, I was like, phew. Pheww, speaking of Pheww makes history as the first player to reach 3,000 assists in MPL Philippines. What the hell?
Yeah.
3,000 is a lot. That's like imagine 3,000 pizzas. That's a lot of pizzas.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think the more interesting part is that he's already at the top, like in terms of total assists. So he surpassed Oh My Venus, as like probably everyone knows, but even Carl TZ. Carl TZ's there.
Wow.
So I think that's another thing. It's interesting to see Carl TZ being part of the top assists rankings. But I mean, I think the guy mentioned it himself. He wanted to be totally all around in terms of his jungler, being a jungler role. Like he's been through all the kinds of jungler metas too, so it's not surprising to see him there. But yeah, Pheww, he's a guy who I think being part of the league ever since the first season is already something. But like in all historical stats, when you look at it, he's in a lot of those categories, and that just goes to show like how much impact he's already left in the scene, like just how much he's already made history as a player.
Two-time
MPL
world champ.
Philippines. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So speaking of MPL Philippines, number one, I believe right now is Liquid Philippines, and they've been going on a run, right? I mean, it's Aurora and Liquid, but then Aurora lost to Onyx Philippines. That record is not going to be shattered by Aurora. It's still going to be Onyx who has that record for a while now. But Brigida, how good are Liquid Philippines right now?
Really good. I think they made well use of the rest that they've had, and I think everyone will agree with me when I say that OHEB has been the perfect fit for Team Liquid Philippines, and it's like an improved version of the Liquid Stampede, which we know of them, but now OHEB just adds in his very own touch to it, and it just makes sense. Like everyone or every team that Team Liquid Philippines has gone up against, it's surprising to see them in this kind of form. The only possible kryptonite, I guess, of Team Liquid ever since would be really Aurora. Like, it's the team that eliminated them last season in the playoffs, and it's the team they still couldn't beat here in season 15. But at least they have another chance to try. But the way it's looking, there's something really between Team Liquid and Aurora. It's such a treat to see these two teams go up against each other whenever they like go up against each other in MPL.
By the way, Brigida, since you said everyone would agree that
You
OHEB
don't.
fits
Okay, you
very
don't.
well, right? No. I feel like the moment you say that, knowing the Southeast Asia demographic, someone will disagree just out of spite.
Yeah.
Be like,
That's
no,
true.
no, he's better in
They don't
TNC.
like your
Who
opinion.
knows?
Yeah.
I agree.
Someone's gonna disagree. Just letting you know.
It's okay.
I will
I'm-
disagree with what you said, Laphel, just to play into what you said. All right, you're wrong, Laphel. But I do have like a different take when it comes to TLPH. Yes, they've been amazing, obviously, and a lot of their success could be contributed to. I mean, we could say it's the players. They have an all-star lineup. They have OHEB in the lineup that was already super strong. But I want to give a massive shout out to Coach RC too.
Yeah.
I think was a major factor as to why Falcons did well. Not Falcons, sorry. Falcon Esports did well from Myanmar, if you guys don't know, at the M5, M6 World Championships. They only beat Onyx Philippines in the upper bracket, so I was pretty surprised by that. And now bringing a coach of this caliber onto a team that's already really good has been tremendous. I think for the longest time as well, before they were Liquid Philippines, when Echo kind of struggled, it was after Trevor left. When he left over to AP Bren, they kind of lost the main drafter, and I think that put a lot of burden on Carl Teasy's shoulders to be the guy to draft, to shot call, to do a lot of things. And that's why we saw a little bit of a dip when it came to his mechanical power. A lot of people have been saying this, but yeah, Carl Teasy seems to be back in prime form, and I think that it's because he doesn't need to carry the weight of being everything on the team anymore. He can finally delegate these roles to other people on the team.
Yeah, and can I just say that Coach RC, for those of you who may not know, he has a really inspiring like story like behind his career. Like he's been through jobs, a lot of jobs, and
Are they legal?
yeah, they are.
I'm just asking because you said there's a lot of jobs. Maybe one of them, is something that he doesn't want to talk about.
Exactly.
Well, I'd assume like these are jobs not a lot of people would like consider something they'd be proud of, if you get what I mean. Like,
Okay. Yeah.
so maybe minimum wage type of jobs or something, or even less if you get it. But
Gotcha.
he's been through all that and he still persevered. And to think that I feel like it came to a point where he actually didn't want to leave Myanmar anymore. Like he was just that invested already in being part of their ecosystem as a coach or the team in general. But this is probably one of the biggest decisions he's ever made, like to come back to the Philippines, where we all know is really competitive. And I mean,
Yeah.
it's a really great opportunity for him. It's Team Liquid Philippines. But even when he's still here, or even when he's already here in the Philippines, he never forgets to like do something for Myanmar every now and then, especially after what recently happened in that country. It's like he's been mentioning things about, oh, he'll be, if they win the championship, he'll be dedicating a portion of his prize to donate to Myanmar and all that. So he's
Wow.
a really inspiring guy. He's such a good guy, and I really think he deserves everything he has right now because he has such a good heart. So
Damn.
Yeah.
Hey, WRC
I'm-
in the chat.
WRC, at this point, I'm worried because Brigida is saying so many good things about him. I'm worried she jinxed him, you know?
Oh no,
What?
don't
Like
jinx
if they
him.
start losing after this, Brigida.
You do
Okay,
have
okay.
a curse, to be fair.
I don't want that to happen. So let's just cut it here. I think we can talk about a different team now, you know? Like I don't want that to happen. So I don't want to be
Right.
blamed for that. I get blamed for enough game 3s in MPL. So I think another interesting team we could talk about is TNC actually. Because like they've
Coach Wolf's
achieved
team,
something they
X-team, sorry.
haven't. Yeah, they achieved something they haven't in such a long time. It's like, who would have expected them to actually get into the playoffs in as early as week 6?
Yeah.
Because it always like they were always rock bottom ever since. So it's nice to see them. I was one of the, no, I think all of us were really excited to cast their games whenever as soon as we saw the roster reveals, but a lot were doubtful because like in as much as they had a
for
lot
sure.
of star players and all of that, it doesn't always translate into results. But TNC, they're one of the teams who did translate these star players into results. And at first I didn't even want to see like Kozin stop playing just yet because he was
Yeah.
playing so well too. But with Benny in the team, it got even better for TNC. So I don't know, like TNC, they have a really bright future for them in the season, I believe.
What do you think, Laphel?
Okay. Nah,
okay.
I'm not thinking anything. I was zoning out.
Hey, that's fair. That's okay. Wait,
It's like all this positivity. I'm like, oh my god. Oh
you're getting
my
Okay,
God.
you should
overwhelmed,
bring
man.
in
You gotta
the
add a little bit more
negativity
then.
negativity right here.
I'm not used to this. I'm not used to this. This is not my environment, Mirko.
Laphel, what would be the negative thing you can say about TNC? It'll just level the positivity of Brigida right now.
What can I say that's negative about TNC?
He's really thinking about it.
I'm trying to think of something that's not hurtful.
Hey, I
No,
can
it's
I can
okay,
say
it's
it if you
okay.
want. If you want help,
you say it.
they
Yeah,
lost
go ahead,
Twisted
go ahead.
Minds. I think they're still kind of shaky. Yes, they are really good. I will have to say. I kind of knew that this team would do. I think all of us kind of expected them to make the playoffs, right? With Dogi's entrance to the team, with them hyping up their lineup. It's not an all-star lineup that'll get them top 3. I don't think yet, but it isn't a playoff lineup. At the start of the season, they they got a close match against Onyx Philippines. They were looking really good, and then they started racking up wins, obviously securing playoffs. Do you think that they are looking shaky now because they've already secured playoffs? That's why they lost to Twisted Minds? Because that was a shocker to, I think, everybody who was in SPS. Me, Leo, Renmar, we were going through day 1 in Malaysia, SPS, we were chilling, and then we saw the news of TNC getting beat by Twisted Minds. And then we were all like, wait, what's going on in the Philippines, man? Then we started to tune in, and then, I don't know. I didn't watch the game. I only saw the result. What do you think, Mr. Brig? Because you were casting before. Oh, wait, no, you already flew to Malaysia too, but...
Yeah, I wasn't.
What do you
But like the week before that, I was. And I was already starting to see, I guess, like glimpses of how they were starting to be shaky. I mean, they came from, I think, a win against the it's AP Bren. So
Why were they shaky? Are they cold?
no, it's the Phoenix Army. It's fire, right? But anyway,
Was the Phoenix Army cold?
huh? Phoenix Army? Fire? What? He said cold. I don't get it.
Mirko, this is going over her head. Let's move
It's
on.
okay.
This is painful.
Phoenix
painful.
Army. Oh, because they're.
Because they're
shaking. They're cold.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay, I get, but yeah. Where
You're
was
wearing
I?
glasses. How are you slow?
I'm slow.
Well, I think
I'm
people
sorry,
with glasses
why-
are actually kind of slow usually because they're nerds, right? They don't run too quick.
Yeah. What's your problem with people wearing glasses? Two
Hey,
of
you
us
know
are
what?
wearing
You know what,
glasses.
guys? Let's move on to Latam, all right?
Anyway.
Like, I mean, we stayed on TNC. We kind of spoke on TNC. Yeah, they're doing great. Hey, congratulations on playoffs. This is the first time in what, 5, 6 seasons? Shout outs to Coach Wolf for no reason. Latam, we may not see legendary Latam teams, unfortunately, anymore.
Yeah.
And these are the teams that I really held dear to my heart, man, because RQ Akira were the kings of Brazil for the longest time. Bigatron Zeta were the runner-up kings of Brazil for the longest time. And they're not going to be in MPL Latam anymore. Even Mycom Evolve, a team that we have seen in the M6 World Championship, they won't be able to participate. Well, they won't participate in MPL Latam Season 3. Do you guys think this is a good thing that we're going to be seeing more Latam org step in? Or, yeah, what are your takes on it? Laphel, I think you have something to say about this? A lot?
Okay, here's the thing, right? It's like a breakup, right?
Okay.
You spend time with your girlfriend for 1 or 2 years, and then you
I can
break up,
imagine
and then say after a month, and then you
Okay.
get with someone else, right?
Okay.
So here's the first scenario: is there even someone else, right? If some other organization wants to fill in, the shoes that is now empty, voided by RQ Kira, Bigatron Zeta, then it's gonna be great, right? So I feel like we can't even move on until we know, like, are orgs willing to invest? Because here in Southeast Asia, everyone's looking for a team, everyone is looking for a slot.
Yeah.
Outside of Southeast Asia, not every org is like, you know what, this is where we want to be. So I feel like that has to be the first question, like, how eager are other orgs coming in? And some orgs might be eager to come in, but they don't want to invest that much. And we've seen orgs, they just want the name, but they don't want the commitment. So I don't know. I feel like
Agreed.
that's the first thing. If an org wants to come in, then that's great. If they don't, then that's not gonna be good, because RQ and Bigatron are very solid orgs that is able to build up a professional team, providing the system, providing funding, and all those kind of things. So, following in that footsteps is going to be pretty difficult, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think MPL Latam is also like internationally still trying to find their footing, I'd say, too. Enough for like orgs to just really want to commit, quote unquote, as mentioned here. But I think, I don't know, their MPL this season seems a bit challenging. Hopefully, like, whoever emerges at the top really gets to show us something, because I think they're the only ones to go through the Swiss format. Aren't they the only ones to have an MPL with a Swiss system? I think so. Like, it's unique. It's weird, but hopefully they get something out of it.
But speaking of, these other regions outside of Southeast Asia, I think Turkey has always been a strong contender when we're talking about international tournaments. But unfortunately, we have seen a slump recently from Turkey. M6, I was really expecting Ulfednar and S2G to have shockers. Well, S2G did. They beat SRG in the first round of Swiss stage, but that was a best of one. After that, we saw them kind of crumble. And now S2G and Ulfednar merge into one, and they're now Aurora Turkey. Sigiboom and Lunar in the lineup of Ulfednar. Technically, that's the roster right now. So it's Apex Rosa and Tienzi with Lunar and Sigiboom. I think this should be on paper an amazing lineup, but we didn't get to see the stars align for them instantly. I think it'll take some time for them to adjust to this new gold lane, to this new XP, because again, in Mobile Masters, they did shock a lot of people. They took a match over Onyx. They were able to keep it very competitive, even up against Falcon Speech in the same group, and all the other teams in Group B of Mobile Masters Snapdragon Pro Series. But we just have to give them a bit more time.
I agree. Because it's not just like Aurora Turkey too. There were some surprising wins from other teams from Turkey. I think Papara Supermassive, right? They were able to get some wins. So I agree. It's just for me, it's gonna take some time from them.
For me, I feel like it's always about the chemistry because honestly, the previous lineup of Ulfindar is great, right? They've been playing with each other for quite a while. Sigibum as well as Apex 47, they're brothers, and sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not because it's just because like in an office setting, like there's an unwritten rule: don't have relationships inside the office because you want to be professional, but at the same time there's this level of biasness, right? So I hope that if there is something like that, it will clear up, because I feel like when it comes to a lineup like this, looking at how good they play, like I still remember their MSC run, almost eliminating SRG during that time. It went all five games. I feel like they're the type of team that when they discuss something, it can get heated. So I hope that not like because there's a sibling inside of it that they're holding back. I hope that's not happening. And if it is happening, get rid of it. Like if you want to be a professional team, if you really want to be better, sometimes you got to speak your mind.
Agreed. That's very important. I think a lot of teams in the past, like Onyx Philippines, to name one of the teams who's disbanded because they got too close. Season the Kyrie Beloyski Marky Dlar hate lineup, right? That was the reason they disbanded. Well, at least that was the reason that they told us why they disbanded, is because they got too close to each other. They couldn't really criticize one another, and it got to a point where they were just very comfortable with each other. They didn't want to say anything. They didn't want to hurt each other's feelings, right? It's pretty bad. But for MCC, this is kind of a shocker to me because for the longest time, it's kind of like Turkey, in my opinion, where it's just one team dominating. It's always Incendio supremacy for Turkey, to Ulfednar, to now Aurora. For MCC, it's always been Deus Volt, Navi, Spirit, these guys all over again. Sunset Lover, Sunset Lover, Sunset Lover. It's always the guy, whoever plays with Sunset and Sawo, they get to internationals. But now we have something new for MCC. We're actually seeing Team Spirit at second place.
Wait, what?
Yeah. They are currently second place in the standings, and their record isn't as clean as CYBERHERO. That's number one. CYBERHERO are currently number one, and their record is 7-1 match win. Now do that against, because the thing is, in MCC, if you don't think about Team Spirit, maybe you think about Incilio, because we've seen them again get experience internationally. We saw Maniac, and we saw Justinian perform really well, or maybe Brute Force back in the day. Well, technically, this is Brute Force / Umbrella Squad. They got a few of the players here and there from all the teams. They got even players from VSG here and there. You guys probably recognize Fangor, Nagib, and Mashiro. Those are the three names that instantly, popped up in my mind when I saw the roster.
Yeah. I honestly can't believe it too. Just when you mentioned it, just by looking at it, because Team Spirit's a team who, similar to what we were mentioning earlier, trusted the process. So they've been together for quite some time, and they were also able to adapt to like all the metas that took place. I remember Sao being the D guy back then, but then now you can expect him to play the craziest tanks out there. But CYBERHERO, I don't know when they just started getting together, and now, as much as we're familiar with some of their names, we haven't heard them for some time. So
no, honestly, now I actually want to watch the games. Like I want to see, like, is CYBERHERO the one that's really pushing the boundaries, or is it just Spirit? I don't know, like plateauing, I guess. Like again, it's always either or. Either CYBERHERO is the next Onyx ID, the next SRG, the next any Philippine teams, or is it just Team Circuit really Team Spirit not really playing that well?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, from the stats that I'm looking at, it really just feels like they have the control of the meta. The meta has really served them well. Suyou is their favorite pick in the jungle, and it's still undefeated for them, 6-0. Well, like we're talking about games. When we're talking about heroes, we're talking about games. So the fact that he has picked it 6 times, and it's still 100% win rate. Gatot Kacha also is 7-0 for CYBERHERO. So they played it 7 times, and it's been just winning them games. And you know, the craziest pick with the highest win, right, with also 100% win rate from this team, for Suyou Gatot, you kind of understand it. It's meta. But for me, Selena being 5-0 for CYBERHERO is ridiculous. Like, this is a team that you might have to watch, like, in the upcoming playoffs of MCC and internationals if they make it. Because to be able to make Selena work that consistently, we've only seen a few players do that before. Right? I mean, in Mobile Masters, we saw Super Friends, obviously. And then Moreno, probably, but Pheww. Just to name a few, it was three dudes that were confident enough to bring up Selena. So, and they don't have 100% win rate. So 5-0, impressive stat.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, I just opened up like a legit random game and just scrolled my mouse, and it just ended up here. It's CYBERHERO going up against Incilio. 14 minutes into the game, CYBERHERO already cracked 2 inhibitors. There's 6 kills to 0 of Incilio with 10,000 gold lead.
Yeah,
like that's actually insane. And looking at Incilio's lineup, I recognize most of them. And in this game, the mid laner Fangor is using Lu Yi. Like, looking at the draft, this is all meta picks. So yeah, maybe you're right. He's just like very good with the meta.
Yeah, maybe if this keeps going, since they're like down to their last 2 weeks, though they also have a similar double round robin format. It feels like it's a bit compressed since they only have 5 weeks to like get all those series done. They might actually stay this way, not unless Team Spirit gets to adjust. And I don't know. Team Spirit,
the patch
I've been
is
like
coming
a
next
big
week.
fan of them. Yeah, but
exactly.
I mean, it came to a point where I really wanted the Team Spirit jersey, and then I just see Mirko wearing one Mobile Masters. I asked one for him, and then he didn't give me one. But like, I don't know. So let's see.
Hey, Hiko's my long lost twin, right? So I mean, cut me some slack here. He can give me. Maybe you can ask one from Bomba.
Okay.
Is it time? Is it time for us to let Laphel just talk for like 50 minutes?
It is.
Talk about what?
Guys, welcome to the new segment. This is always going to be a new segment. It'll be positive or negative depending on Laphel. Welcome to MPL Malaysia Rant.
Oh my God!
Yeah. Okay, so it's going to be a rant.
Where
I was
do
about
I
to say
begin?
the other thing for
Like,
the pause.
Bro,
He threw away
why?
sunset.
Okay.
Where do I begin? Dude, I'm so tilted. I'm so.
Oh my God.
I feel like this week is gonna be negative. You know, just calming myself. I feel like it's gonna be negative. What do you guys want to know?
Hey, Laphel, we just want to know how week 1.
How do you feel? How do you feel about week 1?
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? Hey, you know what? Let's be positive. Let's be positive. Like, after week 1, you know, like I'm gonna list all the teams that I feel is gonna make an impact internationally. All right, so let's start things off. Monster Vicious, MV.
Okay.
That's it, man. That's it.
Not even SRG?
Bro.
What happened to MPL Malaysia? Wait, is it? Yeah, I mean, I watched some of the games. It does feel very one-sided, most of the matches. But what's going on? Not even SRG. You don't think they're?
Let me give it to y'all, right? It's not about winning. It's not about losing. It's how you do it. Like when I'm watching the team fight and I'm like, oh, something's great gonna happen. You know, they're gonna do this, they're gonna do that, and then boom, bang, bada, bing, and then it's just big explosions. And they don't do that. They don't do that. Like skills missing. The draft is okay. Start things off. SRG. Innocent is great.
Okay, Innocent.
And then we move on, right? So
what?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really? Like, in their match against Vamos, was it that bad?
Seriously?
Okay, because
that was a 2-0-2.
No, okay, because here's the thing. We saw what they're capable of. Correct? Like, they won MSC, and that's a big deal. It's not easy to win MSC. And during that time, like, everyone really stepped up. So I have the image, I have the gameplay in my mind. And then when I see them, and then I'm like, this is not you guys. This is not your MSC form. Like it almost looks like that It almost looks like that guy that is ripped as hell and then didn't go to the gym for 6 months.
Oh,
You know,
he's
like
flabby. He's all flabby.
it's like when you go to the gym, your form is still okay. You can still lift heavy, but you just know just by looking at them, they're not the same person. You know, Innocent looks like he's still grinding. He's still doing good because even on the video starting off MPL, Innocent's like, oh, I'm like 70-80% confident that they can win this, and I'm like, bro,
Okay.
I feel like he said that not because the other teams were strong, but he was like, what's my team doing, man?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Like I read between the lines, Mirko. I hear things that they don't say.
Damn.
Yeah.
Because I'll be honest with you, coming into this, I don't know if Brig agrees, but I'll be honest with you, for the last 3 seasons, in my head, it's always just been, it's not really MPL Malaysia, it's MPL SRG. Like, we know who's going to win. It's kind of like MPL ID during the Onyx era.
Yeah.
We know Onyx going to win. It's a battle for second place. So, is SRG getting complacent? Can you tell us a bit more on, like, can you elaborate? Do you think the others, so Innocent, you're saying Innocent's really good. Yeah, he got a savage on beat tricks. Amazing stuff. But what's the main problem for the others? Like, is it, complacency? Skill issue, coach issue? What's going on?
No. I honestly don't know because one of the things that made them really dominant before was their mid trio. They really controlled the the mid lane and then able to push their advantage into the opposing jungle, and we just don't see that anymore. Like we see Sakai's having on-off plays, and you don't even have to watch this MPLMY. Even on M6, you can see him like some games he's amazing, some games you're like, what's he doing? And then Yums as well, not being as precise as he was before, and I feel like that does hurt Stormy as well as Sakai's as well. But I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it is just a change of meta because all the heroes that Sakai's was great with, like the Alpha, like the Ling, they're not really in the meta anymore, and maybe that's just like his heroes. And Yums, he was great on the show. He was great on the show, but nowadays he doesn't seem to favor it, So I'm gonna give them 1 to 2 weeks because they've been out of the public eye for quite a while.
Yeah,
I'm sure they were training, but maybe they're relaxing a little bit too much.
I think I'd agree because there's some sort of similarity, I'd say, to what Team Falcons had to go through in the beginning of like our MPL after they came back from rest. And I think a lot of us have actually observed that they tend to take some time now. Like they kind of lose at first. SRG, I mean, they won even, but for Team Falcons, they take their time, but then they bounce back stronger. And again, I'm hopeful too for even Vamos because last M6 I was sort of converted into like a, but you get it because like their story was like so inspiring, but I don't know if it's just getting to them too. Like they've done a great job, but I'm looking for the drive, maybe like the drive because it's if you were to ask me. And this is me. I don't usually say weird stuff or like mean stuff.
Okay. Now I'm interested.
You always do behind the scenes, but sure.
Yeah, but like Nets adding the word Presco to the end of his name, even it just like adds up to, he's just really being arrogant or something. Because Presco in Filipino it means like chill, like when the weather's like cool or like it's fresh. And like, it's Presco. But that's when you talk about like the weather, the temperature. But in other instances, you can use Presco to refer to someone who's arrogant. And Nets has been like that for the longest time. But it like it works for him, right? Like that entire ever since he was green haired and all that. But
the broccoli,
the broccoli Nets. But I don't know if it's still working. Like I wish we'd see more than just arrogance and being confident for Vamos, but even SRG hopefully or something like that. So I'm seeing Laphel being shot about the Presco thing, but that's what it means.
Okay. Like let me just touch on Vamos. Let me just touch them boys. Pause. Not like that. Cut that out.
Break. Let's move on. Let's go to the next segment. We got ban or blast.
I need a cake.
Hey, you will get Well, it's not cake, but it's a good thing. It's the new hero spotlight. It's Kalea and Lucas. You know, it's for your favorite anime. Your second favorite anime. I know it's One Piece, but Naruto's gonna get a collab with Kalea and Lucas. So what do we think about Kalea and Lucas, guys? Because I think throughout all our MPLs this week, that excludes you then, Brig, but it's me and Laphel. We have been seeing a lot of Kaleas. Now in Indo, Lucas has been horrible. It's been pretty bad. I think it's sitting at a 0% win rate right now. Damn. But what about you? How's Kalea and Lucas for you? Good.
Kalea, out of the 2 days that I've watched, they make me hate that hero. And I love that hero.
In a good way or bad way? Do you hate the hero?
In a very bad way, Mirko. It's like it's like you watch your loved one, like you broke up with her, and then she goes out with this guy, and then that guy is abusive. Like it's sad to watch.
That's deep, man.
Cut that, by the way.
Breakup things.
So like Nova Escobar, the roamer of
Franco Bar.
Nova Escobar, Monster Vicious. He's the only roamer that can use Kalea. Everyone else, personally for me, I blame the draft, because the way they drafted Kalea is like you're trying to draft a Faramis and a Kaja. Doesn't really make sense.
Okay.
He just paired Kalea with a bunch of no damage. And I'm like, what's the Kalea gonna do? What's the Kalea gonna do?
I agree.
I think in Indonesia, we've actually been seeing a lot of teams already adjusting to. I think they saw what teams were able to do in Mobile Masters. A lot of teams failed with the Kalea, and then, like you pointed out, they picked up carries. Beatrix's with the Kalea. We saw a lot more Kalea picks do well in MPL ID this week.
Or Selena.
Yeah.
Laphel, oh my God, yeah. So what about you, Brig? We saw Mobile Masters. There's no MPL games, but what do you think about Kalea and Lucas?
Yeah. Technically, I think every single time a new hero gets released, it kind of shakes up the draft. But in this case,
Kalea best girl, by the way. love the girl to bits.
Okay. Anyway, but in this case, I feel like what makes me like them a lot more is the fact that they kind of directly answer to one of the power picks even in the meta. I think it was something we observed even in Mobile Masters, that the win rate of a Lucas against the Suyou is just so high. I think it came to a point where it was 90%, and you could say the same for Kalea somehow. Yeah, I think it was almost 50 or more than half. So I don't know. For me, it just came to a point like after M6, I didn't want to get another Bruno. So do you get it? Like another hero that just gets so annoying because it's always there. Yep. So I it's nice to see like these two heroes get to make teams think twice about getting the Suyou immediately now. And I think it's also dipped in. Wait, let's not talk about MPL Malaysia too. Anyway, but you get what I mean.
He's
just for reference, in case you guys are wondering why Brigida say like, oh, annoying like Bruno. Do you guys know? Fun fact: Bruno in M6 does more damage than a Sicilian with 500 stacks.
Yeah,
just let that sink in.
There you go. Bruno was kind of busted, and all they needed to change for that to be broken was a Melfic gun. They added Melfic gun, and that was it. It just goes to show what little tweaks you could make in the game to make something super giga broken, all right? And for the longest time, Moonton, we've been stuck in this monster jungler meta. Hey, this is... I know we're being hired by Moonton to make a podcast, but Moonton, Joy and Suyou, man, it's been years. We've been seeing these two picks since... Dude, it's been 3, 4, 5 months.
I feel like it's just an ML thing where they just like one jungler, and he's gonna stay there for a few years.
I mean, all right,
Fredrin.
That's true. Fredrin.
Yeah.
Akai for a while.
Yeah.
What else? Lancelot for a long time.
That was
it got to a point where Lancelot got hyper build. I mean the hybrid build, and it did more damage than Marksman.
Yeah.
And it was tankier than tanks.
Yeah.
I love that time. I love that time. Man. Okay, so Suyou against Joy, like I feel like the problem is more on Suyou. He does everything. He has range. He has a lot of dashes. He has tankiness. He has sustain. He clears the jungle pretty fast. Like
he's everything.
He's everything. Like Joy.
He's the perfect man.
Joy zip zap zoop zip, and then you kill someone. That's great, but at least it's fun to watch. Suyou is
Yeah.
great, but too much Suyou is
Hey, Laphel, I'll be
he's
honest
getting a
with you.
Sasuke skin.
Exactly. Laphel, I think we don't talk. We bash Joy more, so Joy gets nerfed because we want to play Suyou with Sasuke skin. Then after we get time to play with the Sasuke skin, then we nerf Suyou.
That's right.
So we gotta.
I'm a Joy person though.
Exactly. Joy's the better pick. They gotta nerf Joy. Suyou. Hey, Muntan, Suyou's not a problem. Not until like the Sasuke skin comes out. I agree. Why do you think Joy is broken?
I feel like actually Suyou is undertuned. I feel like he doesn't do.
We should buff Suyou.
Like the moment they nerf his Soul Sever, making it not as effective for Turtle and Lords, that's too bad. That's too bad. And Joy is too busted because I remember myself as a tank. I built 6 magic defense items, and then I die to a Joy by a basic attack. That's not it. The Joy didn't even use her skills. She just basic attacked me with a Demon Hunter Sword, Golden Staff, and Courage and Scythe. It was a weird game.
Yep.
I mean, we've seen a lot of like Joys versus like the 1v1s between the Joy and the Suyou. It's almost like the Suyou makes it out alive because he's able to escape. But in terms of like sheer damage and just fighting head on, Joy gets to have the better burst against the Suyou. But that's on a 1v1. But I think I'm also more of a Joy person because like it's safer if you have the Joy and you don't necessarily get hold of the early game because like you have better side control, unlike the Suyou, which the 4-1 is a thing. Like the junglers usually go to the other side, but it's more reliable when it's the Joy compared to the Suyou. But that's just me because it's more on mobility and like the safer option. But Suyou, of course, when it comes to versatility, I'd say he's the winner. Yeah. But I'm a Joy person, so.
I mean, it's interesting, right? Because Suyou has 2 forms, and Joy also has 2 forms. Like, Suyou has the mortal and immortal form. Joy is like, one game she's Joy, the other game she's depression.
Hey, it's always depression when he's on my team. These Joys are super bad whenever they're on my team. I don't know why. They just can't get the rhythm right, man. But my Joys are great. Laphel, no, I only play Suyou. Joy's broken. Muton, don't nerf Suyou, please. Not until Sasuke skin comes out. But hey, let's move on to roamers. The 2 roamer metas that we've seen. So RQ has used it in SPS. So this is the case where we've seen 2 dudes buy roamer boots, and actually even more because this isn't just 2 roamer stat. Yeah, but everybody gets roam boots. So in RQ's case, XP Dyron, whenever he's on a pick like Badang, those kind of picks, he actually does go for conceal sometimes. So the conceal is actually on the XP, on the initiator, and then Edok when he's on high lows. Gatot, he goes for other choices, depending on what he's playing.
Like the encouragement and stuff.
Encourage, dire hit.
Yeah. We haven't seen a lot of dire hit, but I kind of feel like it's just how the system of the Land of Dawn is. Like legit, it has been like this for a very long time, almost as long as I've been casting, which is you always need at least two utility guys, right? Where if you really think about it, there's rarely a meta where there's one dedicated tank, a dedicated frontline or a dedicated initiator. It's always 2. Either it's the roamer and jungle or roamer and exp. It always changes here and there, but I don't know, I kind of feel like this system, everyone has gotten used to it like so much, it almost doesn't matter how you feel about it. It doesn't matter whether you like it or you don't like it. It is what it is. We're gonna have a lot of roam boots, and there's gonna be at least 2 tanky heroes in the match, unless Muntan just makes tank stats or tank items just very irrelevant.
Yeah, I just think like there are some teams who like go hard on the 2 roamer meta in a sense. Like it works really. Like I've been a fan of the entire double rivet thing, the way that they're able to make the roam and the XP rolls so similar nowadays. I mean, you mentioned it has always been like that, but it's all the more now because it's so flexible. I think players can even switch roles between role and XP, and it doesn't matter because the heroes are gonna be quite similar and all that. But I think it really works for teams, especially who want to play for the early game, because as you mentioned, it like allows the jungler to farm up faster. I'd say like
Mhm.
you
I would say
give
it's
the
more on
side to
objective
him,
takes.
yeah, and the objectives are a lot more accessible, and it's not, you don't get to really win against teams with those double like rivet kind of setups in the early, because it will be so hard. But
Mhm.
that there lies the condition, though. I think if you do that and your jungler doesn't go online and you start to play from behind, you have less ways to turn things around. If it's like, especially the Hilda Hylos kind of setup
Yeah, yeah.
or something, if you lack like decent initiation and something like that.
Yeah, personally for me, I feel like double roam will always be necessary until Moonton adjusts the game to make it that one tank can literally hold back 5 people. Until we see that, we're gonna have two roam situations, either frontline sees crowd control or some kind of healing. So
Yeah.
yeah, honestly I feel like this is better, because having just like one tanky person able to tank literally 5 people might be a little bit too busted for the game.
Agreed. I think it'll be busted in the team fights. Welcome to the team fight segment, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so Snapdragon Pro Series, we got an update on that, right? I don't really want to talk about the update because it's not really an update. There's no changes.
Yeah.
It's like a patch note that
No,
dropped
no,
that
it's
says no, nothing.
It's different. Like this time, Philippines won, right? So
Yeah,
that's
the first time ever Philippines has won an international tournament. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not like
yeah.
they dominated
But the
through it
trophy
again.
stays in Indo, though.
The trophy does stay in Indo.
Yeah,
But I mean, some of the fans will say it's an Indonesian trophy, but
yeah.
why did Malaysia
'cause,
not participate in Snapdragon, Laphel?
Not gonna lie, after watching the first week of MPL, I'm glad they didn't. I actually
That's
preferred
fair.
that,
That's fair.
because I enjoyed myself watching SPS, and I want to keep it that way. Sometimes.
So you enjoyed seeing Philippines win for the 9 billionth time?
No, I've lost all emotions, Mirko.
Yeah.
I grew up. I became a man. And as men, you're not allowed to have feelings. You don't voice them out.
Yep.
You just push them downwards.
Yeah.
And then you just act like nothing happened.
Yeah.
No.
I think Brig, this is since me and Laphel were so invested in this topic. Why
yeah,
don't you
of
talk
course.
about Onyx Philippines winning their third back-to-back international tournament?
Why do I feel like
You don't
everyone's
have to be
sad
humble.
about
It's okay.
this?
Yeah,
No,
we're
it's
just
I mean, reality, right? It's
reality,
kind of
of
hard to
course.
say when this dominance will stop, and it's not because I'm from the Philippines or something, but like,
Yeah. No, of course it's not. Of course it's not that.
yeah, it's not just that. The level of competition, if you were to, speaking of Onyx Philippines, just look at how they're able to perform internationally and locally. It's so different. Like I feel like they've been saying it themselves that they find it harder and then more competitive when they play back in MPL Philippines as compared to when they were playing in Mobile Masters. That's something they said, not me. I'm just trying to echo what they said. But I'm assuming Laphel just went to get something, right? He just went to get
No, I
something.
didn't.
no.
Wait, why can you still hear me?
No. He has speakers.
I'm not hearing you.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
no.
He's not hearing me, but
No, that's not it.
it's not okay. Let's try something else. Somehow I think it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. In general, I think teams in the Philippines, they get to show us stronger chemistry and synergy because they're really being developed that way as a team. For like, I think these are the teams you could be defining as teams who trust the process. But I don't know if, like, for example, Indonesian teams just really get to work on their consistency in macro and micro. Okay, why am I giving possibilities for other regions? But yeah,
Yeah, no, go on.
it has something to do with that, I believe, and also their adaptability in general. Because like whenever teams from the Philippines lose at first and then they meet again, they win dominantly. It's been a pattern for quite some time. And look at these two guys. Are they even listening to me? But
Yeah, no. Headphones are on. You know, it's all good. Just keep going.
yeah, but
Going.
yeah, that's for me. So I guess it's hard to say when it is gonna stop or if who's gonna stop them. I'm just saying facts here. Why do I look like the bad guy?
You're not a bad guy.
Hello?
It's your region.
You're an amazing person. You know, there's no flaw at all for you.
You're just so good at video games.
No, we do have flaws,
Yeah.
you know.
Like you're pretty. You're funny. You probably have a lot of money. You know.
I
It's crazy,
don't.
it's
The
crazy.
richest caster in Philippines. I heard that from Wolf.
No, I'm
She has,
not.
like, 3
it's
cars.
Wolf.
Okay.
Anyway,
Hey.
I'd say it's just hard to answer this. Like when it's gonna stop. I can't think of an answer. So I think let's just talk about the future in terms of other aspects. I believe like
Sure.
Oh, you mean the
MSC.
future where Philippines wins again?
Yeah. So like I
Like,
mean,
is that what you want to talk about now?
if we use SPS as a parameter to for the upcoming MSC, then what you want to talk about future? You really want to talk about future events? You want to go through MSC where Onyx Philippines wins again, or maybe M7 where another Filipino team, maybe Twisted Minds wins.
Maybe
World
Aurora.
Championship.
Who knows? Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
maybe Omega.
TLPH. You know. Maybe
Yeah.
Malaysia's not there anymore. Who knows? You know.
You should just rebrand M7 to MPL7 Philippines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can't say.
In Philippines.
M Philippines.
hey,
Yes.
we can't say just yet. Onyx yet to get
Yeah,
to
sure we
the
can.
top 2 spot.
Well, that's and they won SPS.
I mean, like, here's the thing. Is it really a good thing? It's like, oh, it's okay. Onyx not going to MSC. But
Yeah.
then who's stronger than Onyx?
Yeah. Gee. You still have teams stronger than Onyx?
This is so fun.
Wow.
Oh,
Hey,
gosh, you know what? You know, you guys are great. You know, amazing.
You're
you know.
amazing. You're amazing.
Yeah, you guys are.
So maybe we can,
amazing.
like-
love the traffic, by the way. Love the traffic.
Sure.
But in all
I don't love it.
yeah, I don't love it either. I was stuck in like Filipino traffic for 3 hours. So at least they are human
Malaysia's
too.
legit the best if you compare Indo and Philippines.
Yeah, I agree. You're definitely the best when it comes to having
A road.
not congested roads. Yeah, and no holes in your roads. But in all seriousness, MSC, at this point, we've always been kind of talking about how competitive it's going to be. MSC last year was Malaysia winning it. MSC 2 years ago was Indonesia winning it. But now we're getting to a point where, because in Snapdragon even, we were able to see Onyx win it before as well, right? Now it's been becoming a thing where it's like Philippines. So if we use SPS, if we use the last few tournaments as a parameter, are we going to see again the dominance of MSC? What about you? Because like Brigida already gave her opinion. Laphel, what about you? Is this going to be the same, especially considering you have a lot to say regarding how it's like pretty bad right now in Malaysia?
So honestly, my hope, it honestly does revolve around the meta, because personally for me, I do criticize this current meta where I feel like it doesn't incentivize creativity, right? So it almost feels like everyone just has to play roughly the same thing, so that who does it better, then they will win, right? And then Philippines just does it better. So I feel like for it to be more competitive, I feel like different playstyles has to be viable, right? So at least some teams can have a cheesy win against a Philippines team, right? Like a draft or a playstyle that punishes heavy macro. But the thing is, according to my knowledge, as of recording, 2 more days, a new patch will be coming in. We will see if it really changes things up. But what I heard is that there will be a very big patch.
I agree. Yeah, this is massive.
Yeah, the patch that will make ML feel very different, but it's probably going to happen after MSC. So if we're talking about MSC, then maybe not that big of a, like, it will be before M7, but it's going to be after MSC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Yeah,
Interesting
I have to
stuff.
agree.
Speaking of MPLMY has been amazing because it's been very creative, Laphel. Like as we say, it's been very interesting.
Yeah,
And in football, the English Premier League is the hometown of foreign players. It's where a lot of other it's the English league, but we have a lot of Spanish players. There's a lot of players from everywhere. All right. And MPL Malaysia is kind of like that right now. We saw Indonesia as more of like the Premier League before because we were the ones to bring in imports first, right? But now it's MPL Malaysia with the most amount of imports. You have Indonesian imports, you have Filipino imports, you have Burmese imports. So it's a place where everyone kind of can hang out. ID, Philippines, Malaysia, obviously, even Burmese. Is this good? Will it attract more viewers? Will we see MPL MY break that viewership
Yeah.
record? That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Will
Yes.
they create a
Yes,
strange
yes.
meta? I think this question I want to ask you, but you've already elaborated. So how good is the meta now because of all the new clashing, styles and nations?
I feel like for this we really have to, I feel like it's gonna be more interesting if we're gonna talk about the next episode, because I feel like with patches it always looks interesting, but does it really translate? Not to be that guy, but the previous patch they buff Akai, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. What did they buff?
Wow.
The alt damage. And see, even Brigida laugh.
Yeah.
So
Do you think that's an interesting move, Muntan?
Yeah,
Just wants
exactly.
to- yeah.
Exactly. Like in my head, like how I would rationalize it is like you're trying to put Akai in the EXP, so you want to put damage on the alt, so maybe some kind of outplay. But just a suggestion: if you want Akai in the EXP, maybe buff the second skill, more damage, more shield, or something. Actually, make it viable for EXP. And just my 2 cents.
Oh, can I just say though, like if we're talking about MPL Malaysia being similar to like the Premier League and all that, bringing all these players, I'm not I'll be honest, I'm not entirely familiar with all of these like how this works for like the Premier League and all that, but there's just something about MPL Malaysia, like regardless of who they decide to bring in, they have this way of building up these players. I don't know if I'm speaking from a perspective of a Filipino because
No, you're just being nice.
the guys hey, wait, let me finish. Anyway, the guys I immediately think of are like Cram and Innocent, who when they left the Philippines weren't that famous or weren't that much of the strong guys we consider, but after getting to Malaysia, and even Nets, I know Nets, he didn't win similar to SRG back in MSC, but they're just able to put so much emphasis and highlight on their characters. They're building them up without necessarily forgetting about the other Malaysians. So I think it's a good thing that maybe can be a way to attract viewers, because they have their way with things, or building stories for their players, whoever they bring.
Honestly, if you want a real answer, does this attract many viewers? Yes, but do you want to know how? Every single time an import comes in, people of their nation will chime in, and then they will discuss. They will discuss: is this a good import or a bad import?
Yeah.
Every single time. You can see it in MPLPH groups, MPL ID group, and then they be like, either, oh my god, they're so great, they got money or something, they got this guy, or why'd you pick that guy? That was the treatment that Innocent and Cram got. Cram not so much, but Innocent, they're like, why'd you get the worst gold later? Turns out he's amazing. But we just got Kusei. We got from Philippines and Cambodia saying why'd you get that guy? Or be like, oh, you're gonna be so good because now he's in your team. That team is gonna be strong now. So it does attract viewers, and it's very interesting to see their comments where they judge the players before we do.
Yeah. It's very interesting to see the comments also later change, right? Now they're saying, oh, this player is so bad, and they win, and they're like, they've always been amazing.
That's my boy.
That's my boy.
I had their back since day one.
Hey, that guy right there, he's my boy right there. But hey, I know you guys don't follow the Premier League. All you need to know is this team's going to be winning very, very soon, all right? So I'm just going to point that out real quick, and I'm just going to shout that out. Hey. All right. Mr. Mans, are we ready to fan the flames? Because I believe we have some questions from social media for us to fan the. I mean, it really depends on the question. It could be us fanning the flames. It could be us kind of being arsonists ourselves, and hyping and firing it up as well. So we got a question, Mr. Angelo Anthony 9744. What is your guys' opinions if Moonton held a tournament exclusive only for development league regions and make them face to face? Example: top 2 from MDL Philippines and ID, and top 3 from MAL Malaysia.
Let's not include Malaysia in this. Let's just keep it TS and ID. I don't mind. Maybe one from Malaysia.
Okay.
Like, keep it fair.
Okay.
I'm glad that Singapore is not in the conversation.
I mean, they can't be. They don't have an MDL, Laphel.
Yeah.
Or are you saying that they're MP? No, never mind.
Okay, personally for me, I feel like it's good if you position it well, because I feel like I've seen someone say this, but basically they're saying like make a world championship, but for like the tier 2 leagues. And with that, I would disagree, because I feel like if it's a world champion, you want the best of the best, right?
Exactly.
If you give a slot to say top 1 of MDLPH or ID, just give them the slot, but don't make them go up against tier 2 teams, like the best of the best, right? So I feel like it's the way that you package it. If you package it like a world championship, nah. But if it's just the tier 2 teams, like make it to be like who's the new up and comer, then that's fine. I feel like that's good exposure, and hey, maybe more jobs for us or other people.
Amen, Moonton. Yeah.
No, I agree, because like I was the first thing that came into my mind earlier, if it's like an international league for the developmental teams of like these regions, it's like I was thinking if it could either go both ways. Like I wouldn't want to see teams who just kind of settle, like you know what I mean, because
like you just want to stay tier 2, not go to the next level.
I mean, like I'd want it to have an effect that'll like increase the competitiveness, not just of the tier 2 leagues, but also of those already in the top leagues, because like you'd have to consider like every now and then there are windows for like changing rosters and all that, so you wouldn't want to like let go of your spot and all that. So if it's just like for, I don't know, I don't know what's the term, not exhibition, it's like this
fun
every
match.
now and then, fun match, I think it's okay, show match.
Oh, they just need a good price. Whoever wins goes to a wild card of M7 or MSC. Then I think that's fair.
Yeah, you know what? I think one thing that I agree with what you said, Laphel. I don't think we should have something like this when it comes to like MDL teams, because again, World Championship should be the best of the best. I think there is something to. There is a cool thing to add, though. I mean, if we want to add like a third slot for Philippines, or third slot for Indonesia, third slot for Malaysia, the top regions,
not third
maybe
spot
we can
for
have
Philippines, but go on.
Yeah, but the thing I'm getting at is maybe there's going to be a mini tournament where like third and fourth place of every one of those regions can like battle it out for one last slot. You know what I mean? So maybe that's like a mini tournament that could be like something that we can think about. But let's move on to the next question then. You want to read this out, Laphel?
Question 2: as Japan returns in the international scene, do y'all think that they can replicate the M3 Dark Horse BTK and surprise the top 3 countries, Malaysia, Philippines, and Indonesia? That one I can understand. Like, is Japan viable for international scene? Yes. M1, it was good.
Was it 10S?
Yeah, 10 second gaming. 10 second gaming. Yeah. I feel like they can. If the meta allows it. Because if I'm not mistaken, during M1, they were the cheeky ones to bring in a Rafaela and an export in the jungle. And during that time, it was marksmans in the jungle. So in a meta that has creativity, I feel like other regions they can perform. Yeah.
I can't be 100% sure about this, but I stumbled upon the MLBB Japan live, I think a month ago.
Was it interesting?
And the first thing I looked at was like if they were playing the same kind of heroes, if they were in the same kind of meta as us. And surprisingly enough, I think they were. Like I think I saw some of the meta picks for at least the time where I did hop in the live. So uh if it's just about being like aware about what's currently part of the meta and how it works, I think they already have like a way to get in the loop. But execution wise is an entirely different topic since they haven't been part of the international scene for a long time. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I think what Laphel said is very valid. I think for Japan, we have seen some creative things from, again, 10 Second Gaming back in M1. I didn't cast it back in the day. I wasn't part of MLBB just yet, but I think the meta has, not just the meta, but the game has developed, has progressed so much where, again, now we're seeing that there's only a few regions that can manage to get to the top. And to pull off those kind of cheese picks is way more difficult now because teams who are at the top have just that much more of an understanding of what is truly meta, right? It could have worked in the early parts, early years of the game, but as we get to now 8, 9, 10 years of MLBB esport being alive, it's going to be very tough for these teams to go and just try to cheese it out. That's why maybe they're leaning towards more meta picks. They're leaning to just what works right now because it is the best. Back then, meta was kind of like it was more of like a suggestion. It's not a rule. Now meta, you gotta follow it if you want to be competitive, right? So Brig,
I wanna touch on that just a little bit more because everyone tried to remember back when you remember things from other teams, and I'm talking about heroes, the diversity. Because remember Sawo, you remember Diggy, right? Diggy wasn't really in the meta, but he made it work so well that they were at the top. Right, and then think about during the time. I believe it was MSC. It was in Malaysia, where it was Falcons Myanmar. It was Falcons Myanmar where they brought Johnson Kadira, right? And they made it work. And then eventually, I believe it was during M4. We see Kaja coming in from that region as well, and it looked pretty good. So I really feel like once a lot of heroes are very much viable, then we can really start to see other regions to do very well because, say a Diggy isn't really that great, but that region is the masters of Diggy. They might give trouble to other teams. Yeah.
All right. What line of Clel.mc with an Agi Seishiro profile picture asks us, what line of casting would you chase if it wasn't esports? Any dream that you would like to cast in besides esports? Oh, okay.
Nope.
Maybe I can go first. I think it'll be somewhat still related to broadcast, probably in the news or something like that.
Ooh.
Because I think that was the only thing I was sure of when I took up my degree in college. It's like it
What's your
had to
degree?
be communications, so it had to be something related to that. So I feel for me it's that news or something.
I don't have a degree. Anyways, I would choose.
Oh, I don't have a degray either. I feel like it's overrated.
Okay. Hey, Dio gang. Virtual fist bump. Boom. I would love to cast for football. I've always been a big fan of sports in general, but football has always been my sport, like the sport that I follow most. And I love the game. You never walk alone. To everybody who's a Liverpool fan, that would just if I could. Obviously, it's crazy if I could, but that's what I would choose.
For me, I hate everything else, so I'll stick to ML.
Okay. So if ML didn't exist, you would still stick to a non-existent ML.
Oh, that'd be interesting. What would I do?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Now you make me think.
He's thinking.
Now you make me
Think about this.
It would be cool if I can be a mercenary.
A mercenary.
Yeah.
Wait, the question was whether you what other thing outside of esports would you want to cast? So you would just choose a different occupation entirely. You're not going to be broadcast. All right, mercenary.
Yeah, because I need some form of creativity, and I feel like mercenary work is pretty creative,
It is pretty creative.
Okay.
I'll give you that one, Laphel. That's an interesting one, and
Right,
not
it's cool.
PG interesting. I mean, actually interesting.
right? Maybe learn new languages, maybe travel. I can't really do anything to this guy, but maybe I could if I think. Let's move on to the next question.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
So because I started this whole thing with DJY at M6 with you guys know what it is. Maybe the question's up on your screen. So DJY has gone from a clipper to a streamer to impress Brig, and now he's a pro player.
Yeah.
Sketty Ops says, please accept DJY, Brigida. Brigida, you have notoriously rejected DJY in
Hey.
ridiculous ways.
Keep doing it.
You said you already got boba once, and then I don't even want to, but please accept DJY, Brig.
What is the definition of accept in this comment?
Oh man, I told DJY the worst she could say is no. She's saying, what is accept? Oh,
What is
DJY?
He's
a pro.
Define accept.
Hear me out. Because like,
Accept him as a friend?
wait, hear me out. Okay, if they're trying to say accept as in become mutuals, we're mutuals on Instagram,
Mhm.
right?
That's
I
another
already
way to say
did.
accept as a friend.
See, so to answer Sketty Ops, I already accepted him on Instagram, even though I do not need to because my account is on public.
Yeah.
Wow.
That makes it worse. You didn't have to
Yeah,
do
dude.
anything.
No.
Oh my god, the worst she could say is no. Well,
Actually,
turns out-
let's make this a segment where everyone tries to riz Brigida and she just shut them down in the most positive way.
yeah.
And for us, it's
what
gonna be
does
the most
accept
painful thing
mean?
to watch.
That's all.
Can we close the episode? Like, I feel like this is not a good day for me.
Hey,
Like
Laphel,
Brigida,
I know-
Brigida's being too positive. She shut down DJY. Actually, that was very enjoyable. But
and
other than
you
that,
will get another clip, Laphel. Here, this is just to remind you how amazing you have it.
Why are we playing this again?
You know exactly why we're playing this again, Brig.
No, I'm a
Can-
concerned therapist.
We are
clip
Laphel's
is fine,
therapist. He
just don't
needs to
remind me of the
understand
game.
that. He needs to accept things in life.
Oh, okay. So we're
Sometimes not that good. Sometimes you might get a really horrible play, horrible draft, but
please
Laphel,
just
it is
watch
what it
MV
Yeah.
game. MV
and it's
is
just
amazing.
week one. It's just week one, Laphel.
Laphel,
That's
Laphel.
what scares me, Brigida. It's
Why?
week one. I have 5 more of this. What if it gets worse? I'm asking you. You're my therapist. What if it gets worse? What if this is the best that I'm gonna get this season?
It's not Laphel. It's not.
Oh, it's like telling a depressed person stop it. It's like, you know what? I get it. Yeah, it's not.
No.
It's not. You know
Wait, how do you do this, Mirko?
This is what I have Googled to be a therapist. Best therapist answers. I will say this, Laphel. I'm here to listen, and we can explore this together.
Wait.
I'm here to listen. It's understandable to feel that way,
Yeah.
given what you've been through.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how this problem affects your daily life and what coping strategies you've already tried.
Okay.
So have you tried ending the episode?
See you guys next time. Bye bye.